Good morning and welcome to SimWorld. Today we are on SWBA Draft Eve, and to break down all of what has been a very rumor-filled week of the draft lead-up is Sniper. Good morning, Sniper. Look, we saw the mock draft come out, the last and final one from ESPN, the one that is as informed as I guess you can get in this one. That comes out, and there's a couple of big items on it, but the biggest one seems to be, and we talked about this with Rico, but I feel like there's so many voices, I need to get everyone's opinion. Lemarian Sherwood potentially falling. A lot of things going on, Sniper. What's your takeaway to the Sherwood item where once a top 5 guy, maybe not even in the lottery?
It's very understandable because of the workouts and how he presented themselves when he went to these teams' facilities. I don't think people understand how big a factor that is. If you're not in shape, if you're not sharp, and if you're not being loud and committed and have high energy, these teams are going to put an X on you. And the crazy thing is about the SWBA is that everyone talks to everybody. Every coach knows every coach. So if the 76ers have a bad workout with Sherwood, they're going to call the Charlotte Hornets and say, hey, we didn't like him. He was out of shape. He was moaning, groaning, and not being high energy. We cut him off the list. And the Charlotte Hornets are going to be like, well, we don't want him if the 76ers don't want him. So one bad step, and you are literally putting yourself behind the 8 ball in these pre-draft workouts. And I think that's what Sherwood did.
Now, look, there could be a little bit of smoke screening. Maybe there's a team sitting there like a Brooklyn Nets or a Toronto Raptors who are trying to put together some pieces to say, well, we really want Sherwood to fall, so we're going to come out there and leak some information about Sherwood. It's all grain of salt right now because everyone that I've spoken to, I don't know that I can trust them as far as I can throw them, right? Because I don't know what agenda somebody from some team has because they want to see their guy fall to their lap. But I will say this. The consensus of concern around Lemarian Sherwood, that's what's different about this time around. Normally, a player will kind of maybe be 60-40 one direction or another, right? 60% of teams are kind of like, I'm not too high on him. And then there's one team that's kind of just like maybe a little too excited about him. They want you to think he's going there to try to get somebody. The number of teams that are all picking in the lottery that I've spoken to, Sniper, that have all just kind of been like, it's a bit of a flyer to take a 23-year-old that can't move that well on the defensive end. That gives me pause to believe this guy is actually going to go where I think a lot of fans want him to go. A lot of fans see him and they say, we love this guy. He's awesome. He's 7 foot. He dominates. Not a lot of guys in the league, decision makers in the league, believe that.
Yeah, and believe it or not, it really doesn't matter what the fans think, even though you want to sell tickets and this and that. But those DMs, decision makers, they're going to make the decision that's best for their team 5 years down the line. And if a 23-year-old that can't move his feet or stay in front of a guard, he's not going to get the job done. They're definitely not going to pick him, and they might not even pick him up for summer league.
I mean, I would hope it's going to be worth watching. I mean, regardless of what happens to Sherwood, he's one of the most, and this is in a draft class that is headlined, right? We have determined number 1 and number 2. It's going to be Cooper Flagg. It's going to be Dylan Harper. We'll talk what could be at number 3, and we talked a little bit about it last week, and things have already changed since we talked last. That is so determined that we're sitting here, and the drama around it is Lemarian Sherwood and where he goes. He's going to be one of the most watched prospects in Summer League in this coming season. Wherever he lands, can he get onto the floor? The latest mock draft had him going to the Atlanta Hawks, which would spell which seems like a weird fit with Clint Capella there. But the fact that he's there is of interest. Let's go to that number 3 pick. A week ago, every sign pointed Jalen Snow off the board at number 3 to the Philadelphia 76ers. That now seems very much up in the air. ESPN's mock yesterday, Cooper Kingy Cross, or what was it, Monday night? Yeah, so 2 days ago, excuse me. ESPN's mock, Cooper King Cross. I tweeted yesterday. I've heard Cooper King Cross. I've also heard Trey Turner as a potential option. Now I know are you still on the CKC at number 3 play here,
Yes,
Sniper?
100%.
Okay.
100%. It's CKC.
So what do you make of Trey Turner being linked into that spot?
I could see Trey Turner fitting in with the 76ers. He is one of a bigger guard, and they would use him more as a catch and shoot threat. I could see that working out, but I just don't believe that they want that, especially with Maxey in this situation going forward. I don't think Trey Turner is a dynamic ball handler like CKC is, and I think that's what's going to put CKC over the edge at number 3.
Now, so this is not from the 76ers. I've been doing my rounds. I've been talking to as many people as I can. There are multiple people that I've spoken to that have said, and I've said, put yourself in these shoes. You're picking at number 3. Who are you taking? I've had multiple people tell me that not only would they take Trey Turner, but there's multiple people that think Trey Turner is the best prospect in this class. They think he is better than. Now, this is not unanimous.
Wow.
But there are some outliers there that have sat there and said, I think Trey Turner is the best player in this class, Cooper Flag included. I don't know that that's true, but
that's a hard take.
It's a very hard take, but again, we don't trust him as far as we can throw him, and I played second base for a reason. It's not a gun that we've got over here. It's decently accurate, but it doesn't go far. Trey Turner, to your point, really good shooter, best shooter in this class, bar none.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm Philadelphia, and I mean, there's also the case Philadelphia doesn't even end up at number 3, right? But if I'm the Philadelphia 76ers, do I need another ball handler? Because I've got Tyrese Maxey, I've got Jared McCain. I need a shooter that can spread the floor next to those guys and let them go to work in the ISO game. I don't know that I'm going to be too caught up on Trey Turner not being a elite shooter, or excuse me, a elite shot creator with the basketball.
It depends on what happens in the future. That's what I keep saying. But you're right. If they stick with the team they have now, there is CKC could come and take a spot, maybe take McCain's spot, maybe play alongside Maxey, but there's no need for his ball handling ability. Do I think CKC can become a spot-up shooter like Michael Redd or someone like that? Yes, I think CKC can transform his game and become a spot-up shooter just like Trey Turner. Do I think Trey Turner has an edge in that department? Yes, I do, but I'm not sure Trey Turner can fit into a system because he didn't have no system at Tennessee, and all he had was himself. So is he going to enter the SWBA on that type of mindset, or can he fit in and just be a spot corner shooter?
To me, this is where if I'm building a team, and the roster should matter, right? Especially a roster as you're forward-looking. We just saw SGA and Tyrese Halliburton lead their teams to the SWBA finals. What's the similarity about both of those guys? They create with the basketball in their hands. You look at the teams that finished one spot short, right? The New York Knicks had Jalen Brunson. The Minnesota Timberwolves had Anthony Edwards. You go one layer below that, and you've got the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum, and then you've got the Golden State Warriors until they cratered with Steph Curry. What do those teams have in common? Their best player has the ball in his hands. So while Trey Turner is the best three-point shooting prospect of the last 5 years, I mean, this is a guy that shot, I think, 60% in high school. 60%. He is not the type of on-ball creator that Cooper King Cross is. And this is where I've oscillated. Cooper King Cross is the best player with the ball in his hands in this class. And if I'm Philadelphia, I'm concerned about it. I know your take. It's that they draft CKC, they trade Tyrese Maxey. I don't know that that's the route I go because Tyrese Maxey is young. He's already an all-star. But
yes,
if I've got a roster and I'm building from zero, give me the guy that can create with the ball in his hands, not the guy that needs somebody else. If I've got a Tyrese Maxey, I want a guy that can shoot right next to him. If I'm a team sitting in the top, and as our top, 5 here, Charlotte, that's a great Trey Turner team. Utah, not a great Trey Turner team. Washington, not a great Trey Turner team. New Orleans, a great Trey Turner team. Those are the teams that do have somebody versus don't have somebody with the basketball. I think that's ultimately what this comes down to is do the team value Trey Turner as a shooter, or do they value Cooper King across for his ball handling? Because those are the two best guys at those spots in this class.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, so let's go to the final point. As I mean, this is going to be one of the most interesting classes in recent history, and the Suns just got back into it. And this is, I don't think this is a headline. I think there's bigger headlines than Phoenix trading Kevin Durant, getting their pick. By the way, the number 10 pick is the Phoenix Suns' first round pick. There's bigger conversations. Where does Jalen Snow, CKC, does Caden Shipp rise in this thing? You know, Lamarian Sherwood's fall, Jamison Johnson, Glory Tate. I mean, like the list is endless in terms of like guys that we think. But at number 10, I'm really interested because the Phoenix Suns just traded back into this class. We don't know what they're going to do with Jalen Green, but we don't even know what they're going to do with number 10. In your opinion, should they draft at number 10 or should they move off of it?
The Phoenix Suns.
The Phoenix Suns.
They should draft number 10. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They have a team where they need another young guy to develop. They have a couple veterans that can develop this young talent. If they want to start from scratch, now is the time with this number 10 pick.
So you're picking there at number 10.
Yes.
Who are you taking in that spot? So this is the mock draft. Again, ESPN put out the final mock draft. That's based off of conversations with league executives and sources. I know that there was some pushback on this mock draft. You know, company man that I am, I didn't see much wrong with Caden Weiss's picks that he threw out there, but this is what we've been hearing, we being league sources according to ESPN. Number 10, LeGerald Carroll. So these are the guys that should be on the table at number 10. LeGerald Carroll, Caden Shipp, Jermaine McElmore, Lamarian Sherwood, Richard Prozarski, Bam Wallace, Mackenzie Mbako. That's 10 through 16 with Trey Turner and Carl Holmes at 8-9. So you would assume that's generally the guys that are going to be available. Who are you taking if you're the Suns picking at number 10? Because I agree with you. I think they should be picking at number 10.
I will go and try to replace the scoring that Kevin Durant should have been doing, and I'm going to go with Caden Shipp.
Okay. Caden Shipp, the Gonzaga forward.
Yes.
Now, I like that one, and I like that one for a couple reasons. I like it because primarily you need a guy like I don't think Jalen Green's the answer on this team. I think Jalen Green is a guy you try to ship away, maybe continue to trim down on some of those luxury tax bills, try to get maybe 1 to 2 guys back for Jalen Green, maybe a first-round pick, but I don't know if you can do that. I like Caden Shipp a lot, and I'm just looking who in this class can I step in there and can I trust wholeheartedly to take the playmaking reins and responsibility off of Devin Booker, right? I need a guy that I turn the ball over to him. He's going to be really good with the ball in his hands. He's going to create for himself. That allows Devin Booker to stop being the dang point guard, which seems to me like just the most idiotic plan that they ever had. But get me a guy that can create with the ball in his hands. Like a Glory Tate, while he's a great shot creator, decent jump shooter, he's not a great ball creator, right? He's not a great ball handler. He's going to be a name you hear. Quincy Henderson, I have reservations about. I don't think DJ Wagner's going to be there. I agree. If Caden Shipp's on the board, I mean, the latest mock had LeGerald Carroll. I don't mind that. But if Caden Shipp's on the board, because all these other creators I just don't see falling, like these elite high-level creators, I don't see falling to that point. What would you think about like a Travion Novick, a guy, really good ball handler, really good jump shooter. He's got a post. He's kind of like an inside-outside type of guy, but he's somebody that fell all the way to 26 in ESPN's mock draft.
I like Novick, but I agree with ESPN on this one. I wouldn't want to put him too high because the SWBA is a little more athletic. These players are a little bit more smarter. And yes, Novick was able to get away with some things at Virginia Tech that I don't think he's going to be able to get away with in the SWBA.
Yeah, I mean, he's somewhat quick. His strength is just simply not there. and he's an undersized forward, so you kind of have to play him as
Yes.
a three.
Yes.
I don't know that that's something that he's gonna flourish in. All right, any parting thoughts, Sniper? The draft is tomorrow, or this week has been just chaos. Wednesday morning, so the draft is tomorrow. Any parting thoughts, takeaways, expectations for the draft?
Yes, yeah. I would like just to back up my Cade Ship pick, and the reason why I said that it's not because he can. I would like to see them replace the scoring, like I said, and I think Caden Ship can grow into that scoring ability. But right now, they still have a man over there, and his name is Devin Booker. And now you have a young gun with Jalen Green, who I think is going to be a phenomenal role player once he learns that he is a role player. Once he learns that he needs to value defense and not offense, I think he will fit in it with the Phoenix. But Devin Booker is going to be the man, and Caden Ship has a defensive mindset, and that's going to get him on the court with those guys. And he's going to learn how to score from Devin Booker by guarding him every day in practice. And that's over time. That's why I think he's going to be able to replace that Kevin Durant scoring with the Phoenix Suns. And that's what I want to say. That's my final thoughts.
All right, we will be excited for it. I am excited for it. I am curious for it. This is just, the more that we've seen it, I don't know that this is a exceptionally it's a deep draft, but it's not like a all-time deep draft. Behind Flag and Harper, this is a top 5, top 6 class, in my opinion. And we'll see where it all boils down Thursday night. That gets rolling at 8 p.m. I can't wait. I can't wait to put all this behind us, and when we can actually start talking like legitimacy, and then we've got obviously the SWBA free agency. Sniper, appreciate you coming on, talking through all this. We'll keep an eye out for anything, and I'm assuming your reaction after all these picks are placed and in the hopper. We look forward to talking to you next week. You have a good one, and appreciate everyone tuning in here on SimWorld TV, the only place you can see the game, be the game.